to the show with your friend and mine. So tell me, Dr. Squee, who's it gonna be this time? We like to hear you talk, and we love to hear you listen. And if you are not subscribed, you won't know what you're missing. So welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. Headphones up. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Dr. Squee Show. I'm Dr. Squee and this is my show. Guys, we are back to our usual range of interviews now after a short detour for Twin Peaks and some wrestling talk, which we had along the way. And I can be more excited for today's guest. So he's a stand-up comedian all the way from New Zealand. He's known for Taskmaster New Zealand, Have You Been Paying Attention, and Guy Mont's Spelling Bee, as well as award-winning stand-up shows. His current show, Your Laughter Is Just Making You. His current show, Your Laughter Is Just Making Me Stronger, is now touring the UK, or as Wiki puts it, he is known for his deadpan delivery and grey suits. Wiki, come on, up your game. Please welcome, to the Dr. Squee Show, Ray O'Leary. Ray, how are you doing, sir?
Hello. Thank you so much for that excellent introduction. The title of the show is not meant to be a tongue twister, but I'm glad that it was.
You know, sir, I do enthusiasm in the introductions, but I'm dyslexic, and so sometimes the words go out the window. Yeah, I try my best. What are you going to do? And actually, I did have something I already need to check with you. This is on I'm going to do a public service on behalf of IMDb here. Oh, sorry, not IMDb, Wiki even. Were you born in 92 or 93, and are you indeed 31 or 32?
No, 89. 1989 is a bit.
See,
I don't know where they get their numbers from, but yeah. No, a bit older.
89. And what is your age at time of recording on the 5th of February?
35.
35. So it's 35. It's the 5th of February, 2025. Wiki, if you want to take this and citation, there you go.
Yes, I gotta say, I mean, I got a Wikipedia page after doing Taskmaster, and I got to say those fans are very thorough. There were things in there that I'd said in interviews, and I remember thinking, oh well, no one will ever see this interview again. That's fine, no one will find it. But the people who make Wikipedia pages, incredible. I mean, I guess my hat's off to them.
I mean, the only thing that confuses me is because you do find there's all this wealth of information, and then you'll get things like, he's born between these years, he might be this age. It's like just weird holes which they've just gone, I'll just take a punt.
It is.
But they've got your inside leg measurement somehow.
Yes, exactly. Yes, they know about my deep, intimate relationship with my parents, but they couldn't tell you roughly how old I am.
Let's just go in with the grey suit because it's mentioned in Wikipedia. Is there any kind of genesis of this suit? Is there a reason why you kind of a look on stage? I'm always kind of fascinated because comedians can run the gambit from kind of casual wear to you've got Jim Carr with the suits, and you've got obviously your signature look there.
Yes, it has become a signature look, and really what I should do is go away and come up with sort of this genius reason for why I wear the suit, or this amazing origin story, sort of, like how in the superhero films they have this amazing backstory for why Spider-Man's dressed like Spider-Man or whatever. But no, basically I was doing comedy. I was very, very early in. I was in Wellington at the time, and Wellington had a comedy awards, and at the time they would get newcomers to perform stand-up in front of, I guess, the rest of the scene, and I was one of the newcomers chosen. And because it was an awards night, people had dressed up, so I put on a suit, I performed, and one person in the crowd said, "Oh, that suit suits you. You should wear that." And then I thought, "Oh yeah, I'll just do that for the rest of my life then." And then I committed to the suit, and there is. So the actual reasoning, what brought it about, I guess, is just kind of that, not very interesting. But I do think it was smart decision in a way. I do think it makes me more recognizable. You know, people have come to expect me to wear the suit when they see me about and stuff. And if I'm out and about in the suit, I am more likely to get recognized. And also, but the main benefit to me when I settled on the suit was that I would no longer have to think about what I wore on stage, because I guess I cared about that so deeply, you know, because with stand-up, I felt like everything was so important, including the impression you make to the audience as soon as you come out on stage. And I guess I still hadn't figured that out. But I thought, oh yeah, a suit is perfect, because the suit, you know, it's not that nice. You know, like, I mean, it is a suit, but it's not, you know, it's not tailored. You know, it's not, the shirt's it's too small for me. You know, like it looks like I've gone to some effort, but not enough effort. You know, it looks like I'm trying to approximate what I think the audience thinks would look nice, but I've kind of messed it up. And so I think, yeah, and I think, yeah, with the kind of material doing the way I speak, I think it does suit wearing a suit, and it's nice to not have to think about what I'm going to wear anymore. And then again, it makes you more recognizable, which means you stick in people's memory more. And also the other final benefit is that for an item of clothing to wear all the time, it's actually not that weird to wear all the time. Like if someone sees you perform stand up in a suit, no one's gonna question it. You know, people be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." If they only ever saw me once, it's not weird. So, which I think is also a good thing. Whereas if I was wearing, like, I don't know, a cheerleading uniform or something, you know, if I don't know, dressed up like a Pink Panther or something every time, you know, people would be like, "Who is that? What's going on here?" You know.
I think it also kind of like you've alluded to there, it kind of suits your act, because it's like I feel like if it was a tailored three-piece, much like, again, like the Jimmy Carr kind of mold, I don't think that would suit your kind of like your style on stage. Your style is kind of like a bit kind of wacky, a bit kind of like it's not fine pressed, shall we say? Like, I don't think it would suit you.
Yes, yeah, like it wouldn't make sense for me to come out in a top hat and tails and a monocle. Yes. Like, you know, like I could, because I think when I come out on stage, I think, I think it's really important as a comedian to think about your relationship with the audience. And one of the ways to think about it is, are you high status or low status in relation to the audience?
Yeah.
And I think the audience probably look at me and they go, "This guy is a nerd, so he's probably going to be smarter than us. Like, he's going to be more book smart than us, but in every other way, his life is going worse than us." So he'll, I don't know, he'll be single. He won't know how to live in the real world. You know, he'll be book smart to the detriment of his actual life. And I think if I was wearing a really fancy, proper, you know, suit, that'd be sort of me indicating, no, not only am I smarter than you, I'm richer than you, my life's going well, which I don't think would suit me, and also was also not true to my actual life.
Well, once again, it sounds very Jimmy Carr. Like, you don't get poor by not paying taxes. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But yes, exactly. The way he dresses is perfect for his act. You know, he comes out and you know, he'll make fun of the audience, he'll roast the audience, and I do think he maybe creates a feeling that maybe he's above the audience, and it works perfectly for the kind of comedian he is. But I think I do enjoy doing bits where I act like I'm better than the audience. But I think the reason the audience, if the audience get on board with those kind of jokes, I think it's because the audience deep down know I'm not really above them, and it's me sort of putting on this false bravado and you know, I'm acting like I'm better than them, but really I'm not, and I'm a failure at heart.
It kind of reminds me of a couple of things. One is like you're in good company, because you said about like not thinking about what you're wearing on stage as part of it. I don't know if you know, Einstein had this thing about this. He had like 5 all identical suits in his wardrobe, and someone asked him why, and said, I just want to remove deciding what I was wearing out of the equation so I could concentrate on other things. So you're just working on Einstein level for a start.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for comparing me to Einstein. I guess the other people who do something similar to what I do is Homer Simpson as well. So he's also someone who wears
the two ends of the monosuit spectrum. Yeah. No, it also reminded me of this will become relevant. I'm not just naming this because like I know people with ADHD, look, we love to mention it, but like I do have ADHD. And I got on medication this year, and it sort of makes you realize certain things about how you've done things previously because you can organize better. So I was thinking about like, I think it was like the year before last, I decided I was going to have a uniform look when I go on stage and do things because I do some stuff on stage around a day job. But I thought, you know what, I could spin this into something. I can make like a bit more money out of this. Like, so what, everyone's got a signature look. There was a particular guy who comes on dressed as a Joker at this one event, which I go to. I thought, I know, I'll start dressing up like a dragon when I appear. That'll be good because I don't have enough affectations with the Dr. Squee show stuff and everything. Like, let's go for something else. And it's just like I did, but I didn't quite have the kind of organization or confidence to on stage get the guys invested in it. And it's like kind of just, so I was just weirdly out there to begin with in a dragon onesie. Then I got this dragon sort of almost 3-piece red suit with a dragon mask, which actually did look pretty good if I'd done anything to really sell it. But I think it just confused people more than anything. So that might be retired for 2025 somewhere.
Yes, that's a tough act because then you have to commit to being if you're a comedian, you have to commit to being a dragon for an hour and do all your comedy from the perspective of a dragon, and I guess a lot of Game of Thrones based material and stuff. But it's yes. That's part of the reason why I picked the suit over something else. Is that way it's relatively normal thing to wear. Relatively, but then the fact that I wear it a lot is the weird thing.
Yes, because it's like a dragon outfit. You've kind of got to point that out for it to work on any level. If you just turn up in it and don't mention it, it's weird. If you wear the same thing all the time, people will notice and they'll start recognizing you, which is what somewhere in my adult mind at the time I was trying to do, but just in a very wrong-footed way.
Your concern was worried you'd forget the guy who was dressed up like a dragon. You're worried the dragon, being dressed as a dragon wasn't enough of an impression, so you always have to dress as a dragon.
I mean, this is typical ADHD. Like, the ideas are sound. It's the application that becomes impractical.
Yes, I must say there are some other comedians who've started to always wear the same thing on stage. But I don't know why this is irrational for me, but sometimes it irks me seeing that. But I think what annoys me is that I'm not sure if they've thought enough about what they're wearing, how it contributes to their character on stage. I think that's an important element. Does it enhance or relate to the act?
So true, because I've now got better ideas about stuff that just is more in keeping with what I wear, but it's distinct, and it's like perhaps that's a better way of selling it. But anyway, I digress. Speaking of the suit, though, is it true that people actually come to your gigs in a tribute suit?
Yes, that's happened. That's happened a few times. People dressed up like me. I remember actually even before I did stand-up comedy, I had friends dress up like me for a birthday party, and I remember one of them said, "How does it feel knowing that your haircut can be bought as a funny wig from the shops?" which is true. Yeah, so people do dress like me. There was a gig I did in regional Australia, and they had come dressed as me, and then someone threw a shirt on stage while I was performing, which I've never had happen before. And it was, I think it said the Cool Ray Fan Club was the shirt they had made, which was quite nice. But then on the back, they had made me the president, which is actually quite humiliating to have to be the president of your own fan club.
I'm not sure. That's it's either one end of the scale or the other. It's either inordinately cool because they set up, they made you the president and everything, or like you say, yeah, like we haven't got anyone who wants to be president. Would you mind just like we're very busy, you know?
We don't have enough fans to cover all the positions of a fan club, so we're going to actually need you to step up.
Look, we've set up this fan club for you, but we're very busy. Like, if you could spend some time on it, please. You know, that's absolutely great. And I know most people will have tuned in just to hear the soup talk, but we will get on to some other things.
Yes.
Oh, the other thing, again, just like let's just while we're on it, make sure Wikipedia is fully taken care of. Matthew O'Leary, is that your birth name?
Yes, that is my birth name. Yes. That was the one bit of information that I was like, surely this will never get out. And then somehow the people at Wikipedia, they found this very old article where I admitted very early on my career that was but I've talked about it on in other places now. But yes. So Ray is a stage name.
Do you mind just very quickly then, Ray, or have you talked about this a lot before?
No. It's Ray is a nickname that I got at university because my the other kids at school at uni, they noticed I sounded like Ray Romano, from Everybody Loves Raymond. My brother's tall, Ma lives across the road. That, and I went to uni and I think there were 3 Matthews in one class in a class of about 9 people, I think. So I just said, look, you can call me Ray, and then more and more people started to do it. And then when I started doing stand-up comedy, I was terrified I'd be bad at it, and I didn't want anyone I know coming along and watching me be bad at comedy, because I'd listened to enough podcasts. I guess I had this feeling that it takes a while to be good at stand-up. And so I didn't want anyone I know coming along. So I used the nickname I had, Ray, as my stage name. And then it all kind of got a little bit out of control.
That's so funny because, I usually don't bring it back to me so much. I will say that.
No, please do. That's normal in conversation. We exchange anecdotes. It's totally fine.
Maybe I'm just becoming more comfortable with this on the meds. I don't know. But but basically, the reason why I came up with the Squee show was I was working as a counsellor at the time. So I wanted people not to be able to find me at the time. So kind of
yes, of course. Yeah, that's a very important reason. I did. I was working as a public servant at the time as well. And I did write some political material that I think I was allowed to express and do, but I think there is a very probably having a stage name helped. But yeah, the main motivation for doing it at the time was being afraid that I'd be terrible at it, and I just didn't want anyone I know coming along and seeing me bomb and stuff, which I figured I was going to be terrible for a year or a couple of years, but I was like, I know I want to get good at this, like you wouldn't, I'm trying to think of what's it, like, I don't know, I wouldn't invite all my family around to watch me go to the gym for the first time or something like that. Watch me lift weights.
I wouldn't invite them to watch me at the gym for the last time. I don't care how many times no one is invited to watch me in the gym. No one needs to see that, quite frankly. Yeah. I'm doing public service by not inviting people. Yeah. Actually, just before we get on to something else, thank God you're here. I only particularly want to ask about that one because I mentioned in my email to you, amongst the comedians which I've interviewed, is Rob Lloyd from Oz. Was he on that when you were working on there? Do you know
Rob Lloyd?
From Lloyd, yes. The double act he does, and he does some solo shows.
He's an improviser, yes. Yes,
he's worked on Thank God You're Here, so I wasn't sure.
Yes. I believe he was part of the ensemble cast. I can't remember if he was. I can't remember if he was in any scenes I was in with. I don't think he was. I'm just. I don't. Just
quickly, while you're just to give a shout to anyone who doesn't know. So this is a concept. I don't know if it was originally done in the UK, but we had a series of it many moons ago. For one series, it was Angus Deaton. If you don't know the name, you know the name.
I know the name. I believe. I think he's He used to host Would I Lie to You?
Have I? Oh, and have I got news for you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, wait. Am I thinking of the? But he's sort of
no. He did do. Would I Lie to You the first couple of seasons?
Yes, but he's not. He's not really part of the industry anymore, is my understanding.
Yeah, there was I mean, to be honest with you, the sort of thing that brought him down was the kind of thing which wouldn't even make the papers now. I think he had an affair with his wife, on his wife, and I remember on Have I Got News For You, they basically had a special episode taking the piss out of him, and it's like it wouldn't register now. It just wouldn't make anything. But at the time, that was fail. But yeah, it's quite funny.
Yeah. But yes, I think it was an Australian show, Australian concept, because I know the production company who makes it, they I don't think they really do adaptions, but I believe it's definitely been adapted to America before. But yeah, yes, Rob Lloyd, yeah, he's in the ensemble, but I don't think I worked with him directly in the couple of scenes I did. But yeah, it's an improv show where basically you get taken to a blue door, and then you walk through the blue door, and suddenly you're in this improv scene. You're in the scene you've never seen before, and suddenly you're playing a character that you've never heard of, and you have to improvise lines and go along with it and stuff. And it's really just terrifying to do. It's so, everything's so out of your control, so terrifying, but it's a lot of fun to do. It's such a great show, and they've set it up well. Like I don't enjoy doing regular improv where you kind of have to imagine the entire scene yourself, but this is much better because they've built a scene and they've built a world for you, and so. But it's it's a really, really great show. If you haven't checked it out, I'd highly recommend going out and watching Guy Montgomery on the show. I think he's incredible. Hamish Blake from back in the day, he was good. Angus Simpson, is that his name? He had some good. Oh God, and what's the name? There's one Rob. Oh rats! I can't. There was one guy who played a naval operator, and his name escapes me right now. But I've met him before. Oh, but anyway, it's a fantastic show. But you have no clue what you're going to be when you go into the world, apart from you can guess sort of based on how they've made you dress up. But even that can be quite misleading. Like I've seen they put Bob Franklin in a golf outfit, and then they sent him in to his scene, and his scene was he was in couples counselling, which he was late for because he had been golfing. So it was complete, completely misled him as to what the scene might be. But
it was clearly a great concept. I think it was just a shame. To be honest with you, I think they didn't do right by Angus Dean. I think it used to be great when he was doing. He used to do this thing called KYTV, which was an adaptation of a radio thing called Radioactive. He did some stuff with he used to be a really great comedy writer and performer. I think when they got him into presenting, he was too dead. Like it was almost like he was just reading, like he was a presenter more than a comedian in that role. He'd just get given stuff which he was written. And I think that show needs to be kept lively. I think it kind of lost its pace a bit, whereas the kind of setups were really great, really hilarious. You had Rufus Hound on one, and he got handed this glass of wine, which he just downed, not realizing it was actually really red wine, not a prop. So just loads of little great silly stuff like that. And I think the show could have done sort of much better.
It's so good. Rob. Not Bryden. Ross Noble. That's what Ross Noble has done the Australian one a few times, and the last one he did, I think he found a bag of flour, pretended it was cocaine, and snorted it, and then spent the whole time just sort of with flour and congested, just going. But you can be wild, and it's crazy. One of the episodes I did, there was a camel backstage, but they're so good at keeping the show secretive that I never saw the camel once. There was a camel backstage, and I was backstage, and I didn't see a camel. It's really impressive what they're able to pull off.
I'm just saying, you guys are far too comfortable with large animals like that, and one's trying to kill you. It's just going to say. So let's get on to Taskmaster. Hopefully we'll get some time for a few other bits, but we're definitely going to have. I already know that we're going to have you back on because we're just not going to go through it.
Sorry for
I know you're
talking
against
too
the
long.
quantity.
I'll start
give-
giving
no,
one word. I'll give one word responses from now on.
Never, sir.
Yeah.
Give the exact answers you're giving. This is perfect. I just want even more. Like, I'm greedy that way. I want to talk a bit, just going into sort of moving into Taskmaster. I think the reason why Taskmaster works so well in the Australian version and in the New Zealand version is because A, you kind of get the format, and B, kind of the sense of humor. It kind of matches the British sense of humor very well, I think. Different, but kind of very kind of on a kinship of there's a healthy degree of ball busting along with kind of I think there is a core of empathy in there and stuff.
Yeah.
When they tried to do it in America, I don't know if you ever saw any of that, but they did it for one series. It was half-an-hour episodes, and they were they were concentrating on the game show too much. And there's some wonderful performers on there. They just did give no room to breathe.
Yes.
And I think American networks make this mistakes with imports. Why do you think the New Zealand version kind of works so well? And talk maybe a bit about the New Zealand sense of humor.
Yes, I've seen little clips of the American one, and you're right. It does feel like I do think maybe people disagree, but I do think the show could work in America, and I think there are plenty of Americans who do enjoy the show, and I think they do have comedians who'd be great. Like Jason Mantzoukas has been announced for the UK season.
Oh yeah, and they have those guys on Seth Meyers over in the States, so it's not like it's not cold over there, but just recreate that. Don't.
Yes, 100%. Yes, and like I know Paul F. Tompkins, for example, is a fan of the series, and there are I think there are these American maybe more in the alternative scene rather than the straight stand-up scene, but I think there are comedians over there who love the show, and there's an audience for it. But yeah, I think they did things like maybe I believe they removed the prize tasks from the show, which is probably a mistake because that gives people a reason to want to win the episode, I suppose. Like it creates a prize to win, even though all the prizes are rubbish, but it does kind of create an incentive to win that episode. And the other thing is it also it gives a space for each person to introduce themselves at the top of the show, which is so important. And if you cut that, then it's just, I'm watching these people I don't know do something a bit weird, I guess, just like, of course they'd be weird, and you don't have a connection with the people. But yeah, New Zealand, to go back to your question, the New Zealand comedy scene, I would say as a whole, is heavily influenced by the UK scene, and we do now have like an American influence, but New Zealand comedy is largely panel show based, I'd say, as well. We've had our fair share of panel shows, which is something that sort of helped start in the UK, and we've got our own version of Mock the Week, and we did a version of Would I Lie to You, and we've had panel shows. So yeah, it's kind of in our New Zealand comedy DNA to do panel shows. So I'm not surprised it took off, and I just think the format of Taskmaster is just so strong. It can work anywhere because you put 5 people in a scenario. All it takes is for one person to do it well. That's fun to watch. You want to see someone to do it well. Some people do it kind of all right, and give it a try, maybe not nail it. That's fun to watch as well. And then you want to see someone completely balls it up completely, and that's fun to watch as well. There's sort of it's almost fail proof. I mean, like if you let it run the way that they've adapted it, it's going to be a joy to watch no matter who's in there. But I think New Zealand's very lucky that we've had quite a lot of strong personalities, is maybe the way to describe it, or lots of comedians with the right kind of character who would do well in Taskmaster. You need people like the David Corraleses and Bubba, who I did it with, the sort of the wild cards who do something crazy, and then people like there's Matt Heath, who just sort of show up and have no clue what's going on, there's just lots of strong comedy personalities that have emerged out of New Zealand, and we're really fortunate for that.
Can I ask you about one of them? Because it's not from your series, and if you haven't got anything on this, please just say. But just I was fascinated by I think it was the last series they did. It was Tafinga, who great performer. Like never heard of him. Absolutely, that's what I love about this. Yeah, finding out these new comedians, and it's like first of all, I love the fact that he had Paul. By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, so it's Jeremy Wells is the Taskmaster, Paul Williams is the Taskmaster assistant. Both fantastic. I think another thing that New Zealand and Australia both got right is pitching those correct. So it had enough of the original status, but it made it their own. You know, it wasn't just a carbon copy. But yeah, when Topfinger was doing it, I love the fact he got Paul to do half the task for him. That was just endlessly entertaining. And you didn't question it from him. He was the right guy to do that somehow. But do you know why he didn't appear in the studio? Is he okay? Like, I was just worried because I couldn't find anything online. I was just, is Topfinger okay? Or could he just not be bothered? I believe that too. And
I mean, it would be very funny if he could just not be bothered. But
yeah, he's like, you guys, just you cover it. I've done my bit. You know, I'm good.
Get Paul to sit in for me. Yes. No, I believe he had a health scare, but I don't really know much more than that. Sorry, but I believe he is okay now. That's but yeah. So I think things are good. Things are okay. But yeah, he's a fantastic comic, and he's huge in New Zealand. He's really sort of carved his own way, his own path, and he performs these huge stadiums, and it's very, very well deserved. And clearly, it shows in Taskmaster, but he brought that all. It was so funny watching him make Paul do everything.
Sorry, the recorded task, but then for the studio. Sorry, I think.
I think we may have paused it. Sorry, yes, we're back.
No, that's okay. I'm recording from. I've set it to record from both studios. So when we're finished, if you just let it download, hopefully it should be able to self-write everything like that. Where we lost signal, it should tell you when it's all uploaded. Sorry. Anyway, people at home, you don't need to know that. But yeah, so it was there for the recorded task, but then he wasn't there in the studio, and I just like, I hope he's all right, because like I could tell he was. Maybe not in the 100% health, so I just wanted to check he was okay. Thank you.
Yes, I believe,
back to yourself.
I believe he is okay. Yes.
Thank you for just delaying my fear there. So when you were on Taskmaster, a wonderful lineup. I feel like you were the kind of like it's always someone I look for. Like, is the David Kurtas? Correas, pardon me, David Correas. You've got the Abby Wells was absolutely brilliant recently.
Abby Wells is so good. Yes.
To finger yourself, like I feel like you're in that camp of the kind of like eccentric comedians, which I always gravitate to. What was the reception like? How did you find it? Like, did you learn anything about yourself kind of on there from the tasks, watching them back with everyone?
Yeah. I would. There's a lot of thoughts in response to that. I feel, firstly, I think the overwhelming thought I had watching myself back was like, oh, I'm not very good at many things. I'm quite incompetent. I don't have many skills. I was watching it back, and I was really trying my hardest, which I think is so important for that show. I think you have to be a very, very funny person to just sort of go, I'm going to put in no effort and still make that funny. And some people, I think, have fit that mold and still do it. But I was trying my hardest, and I just don't know how to blow up balloons. I don't, there's just so many things, normal basic human functions that I just do not possess. I don't know how to tie knots. And then I think Paul knew. I think Paul knew it would be, I'm sure I think actually I did ask Paul to help me tie knots, and I think Paul knew it'd be funny to let me fail, and so Paul was just useless at tying knots as well. But yes, and then it's sort of its impact on me. I would say it's completely changed my life. The reception, I'm so warmed by it. I feel so lucky because with stand up, which is what I do most of the time, I go away, I write that, and I kind of choose how to present myself to the world. Like, I am presenting myself, and it is me out there on stage, but I've thought about what I want to show, I guess, and I've created all the artifices and the whatnot. Whereas in Taskmaster, no matter how long you have, even if you have an hour, you have 10 minutes, whatever, basically you kind of just have to do the first thought you have, or one of the, you don't have that long. You don't have that long to brainstorm, because then you also need to execute your idea and get all.
Oh
the
my
props.
God! Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, and it's kind of hilarious when someone does try to, because it's like they run out of time, of course.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Okay, that's something I realized early on. Is you don't have that much time, and so but so basically with Taskmaster, you're kind of doing the first thought that you have, which you think might be funny. And the fact that people, so I guess in a way it just feels kind of like you're being more vulnerable, because you're kind of, you're doing the first thought you have that you think is funny. And the fact that that resonated with so many people is really quite nice, because it feels like they're, I don't know, responding to a more authentic version of myself, I suppose, which is maybe getting a bit too deep about it, but that's that's how
I think that's exactly what Taskmaster does. It does expose sounds negative, but it reveals who someone is. Like, it gets to the core of you, because you can't hide behind any artifice, because you haven't got enough time to plan that. It's just unfiltered view. Yes. And I think that's what the genius of the show really is. I did want to ask you about a particular task, which I absolutely loved. I actually downloaded and listened to your podcast on bananas based on the task, as well as the other one. And man, I've got to say, like, both I'm trying to remember, because it's only at WS. I can't remember what the other one was that they did.
It was about moisturizers.
That's about moisturizers. So you have to pick. You have to pick your kind of like, you just pick something which you and the other person you work in team with, or people,
we were
care the same amount about.
Yeah, we were yet to be mildly interested in, or something.
Equally interested in. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So then, obviously, there's the part 2 where it tells you you've got to record a podcast about it. First of all, how was that one? Because again, I think it was just a perfect Taskmaster task, perfect extra as well, like, so people can download it. That was genius. And did you retain any facts you learned about bananas?
There weren't any facts. We didn't learn any facts. I would imagine, if anything, we've made the universe a little bit dumber about bananas by releasing that podcast. But yeah, because when you read the second task about doing the podcast, we had 90 seconds from reading that envelope to starting the podcast record. So we didn't have time to look up bananas or anything. Or the only thing I thought to do was go get a banana, which is not really, I mean, having a banana is not really that important in a audio medium. It doesn't matter if I'm
audio medium.
But at the time, Mel and I, we picked bananas, and then we were talking about them, and we were going, the banana's great, because I think we had an inkling that it could be, this can't just be the task of come up with a topic that you're halfway interested in. And we were like, bananas are good because we can use them as props. You can call on them, you can slip on them, you can be a gun, whatever. We were thinking like, there's going to be a sketch or something coming up. And then we went up into the room, and as soon as I saw the podcasting equipment, I thought, oh no. And we
didn't Mel like, as soon as you got into it, Mel was already taken, because like not hard enough. You're going like, hey, I suppose I should introduce myself. She's going like, well, if you, the man, wants to introduce themselves first, and it's like, what, like, this task isn't difficult enough. She's now going to bust your balls about that. Come on, like, I love your turnaround as well. It's like, well, I'm just this excited to talk about bananas.
I had one friend afterwards who said, it felt like you were being held hostage against your will and being forced to talk about bananas. And I was trying to convince friends to download it, because it was most downloads win. So I was trying to get people I know. I was like, don't listen to it, but download it. I was trying to I was encouraged. I wanted no one to listen to it, and then I would get my friends listening to it, and then they'd be giving me feedback on the podcast. Like, one of them was saying, like, you guys didn't talk about bananas enough. That was a common feedback. Like, we started talking about other fruits and stuff. We got sidetracked, and there was one. I did have one friend who said it felt like a prank, like it felt like a fever dream, and like every time it would go somewhere, I think we were terrified we'd get told off if we went off on a tangent and didn't talk about bananas. So we kept coming back to bananas. And I think, the start of the podcast is us kind of trying to justify because the part of the task was you couldn't let anyone know it was a task. So the start of the podcast is us trying to justify why we would even do a podcast about bananas. And I don't, and the reasons we give are very thin on the ground. There's not a good reason to do a podcast just about bananas.
I suppose I can't step out of it to what it must have been like if you didn't know the setup.
Yes, and it was very funny. Mel released it. We put it up. We even had friends share it on their Instagram, being like, two of my funny banana friends have just set up there. And I was like, oh no, all these people are going along with this lie that we've made. And I remember someone updated Mel's Wikipedia page, so it said Mel Bracewell has started a new podcast called Banana Pod with Ray O'Leary. They got added to a Wikipedia page, and then I think we went months without releasing another episode. While we waited for Taskmaster to come out and start and do the studios and whatnot. And then someone updated her podcast, her Wikipedia, and said the podcast has got on hiatus after one episode.
What? I mean, I was going to ask, it sounds like no, but I was hoping to hear more from the Banana Podcast. I at least think you should just record one more episode just for the shits and giggles of it.
Yes, we left it on a cliffhanger. People want to know more.
Yeah, just one series of the Banana Podcast, just for the sake of it. We are vastly running out of time. Have you got just 5 more minutes?
Yeah, go. Absolutely.
Awesome. I know you've got to be out for 12. Sorry, behind the scenes. We're recording this yesterday as you're watching this. So just very quickly, I wanted to talk obviously about. I meant to check this, but is season 4 of Taskmaster on Channel 4 yet?
I don't know. There might be a way to legally watch it here. I'm not sure. I've not tried to watch it. But I know quickly,
I was just going to say to people, if you go on YouTube, that's where I found it. And there certainly were episodes just put up there. I didn't do anything illegal to do it. I did just literally access them there. But Channel 4 have got at least the first 3 seasons. Check it out. If it's not up there, follow it and wait with bated breath for the last couple of seasons.
Yes, the Taskmaster YouTube channel has been uploading episodes from my season at the moment. But I don't know if that's just for Americans or if that's for here as well. But yeah, there are some episodes on YouTube that I believe are legally allowed.
I think when it was originally shown, they put it on New Zealand's version of iPlayer, whatever that is, for that network. But I think either New Zealand just doesn't care that much about copyright, kind of or geo-locking it, or they forgot to, but it was available everywhere at the time anyway. So that might have been corrected since. Just quickly then, I did want to get onto the tour. First thing, how's it going? Why did as much as you can fit into 5 minutes of this, but how's it going? Why the UK now, and what are you looking forward to most seeing about Southampton? Because I know that's going to be a draw.
Yes, absolutely. The UK tour is going great. I've been to Bristol, Norwich, Coventry, London. Basically, the thing I've loved about going to all these different places, because basically when I came here, I was thinking, everyone in the crowd's going to be New Zealand and Australian expats. That's going to be the overwhelming audience. But what I love actually is sometimes chatting to people after the show, and they've all got British accents and stuff. So I'm like, these people actually live here, they're from here, and they're still coming out to see me, which is just phenomenal. It's just such a surprise to me that would I can't believe I've flown halfway around the world and there are people in Coventry who want to come see me do stand-up, So that is very heartwarming. And I'm here at the moment. Basically, I toured with Melanie Bracewell this time last year. I opened for her, and so now I've sort of flown the nest and I've gone on my own. And it's I guess it's just the next step. I've been doing the Edinburgh. I did the Edinburgh Festival for the first time last year, so it's just trying to grow a fan base here. I enjoy performing here in the UK, and I'd like to keep coming back. So please come along to the shows.
And soon to visit the Jewel in the Crown on the 15th of February. It's going to be Southampton time. That must be very exciting for you, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yes. It's the second to last stop for a reason, I believe. Southampton, in my mind, can only be topped by the next destination, Cambridge. So that's my sort of ranking. It's Southampton, sort of the second greatest city in all of the UK, is the official declaration here by Ray O'Leary.
I'm just saying there was a theory that the Titanic committed suicide after visiting Southampton, but I don't hold any stock in it.
Well, let's see how I do the day after. That's an interesting curse to put in my brain right before.
Right, if you book a cruise the day afterwards, I'm going to consider it an insult to my town. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to have to, as I say, we're going to have to have you back on again. This was so much fun. Very much looking forward to seeing you on the 15th. Where do people go to buy tickets for the tour?
Just go onto my social media pages. Ray O'Leary Comedy at most on Instagram, Facebook, whatnot, and also livenation.co.uk. You should be able to find tickets to my show.
So wherever you're based in the UK, give it a look, book something nearby you. And because I am in Southampton, like there might be a few people watching this from around the area, still tickets available for the Attic in Tottenham. If you haven't been there, it's a wonderful comedy venue. Anything from kind of brand new acts, which they showcase, to awards, competitions, to establish wonderful acts from around the world, such as Ray here. Ray, sir, thank you so much. It's been so much fun today.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. And we will speak to you soon. I will see you on the 15th. In the meantime, guys, thank you for watching the show. Please do follow us everywhere relevant, and we'll be back with another Dr. Squee show soon. But in the meantime, I've been Dr. Squee. That was my show. And a world where you can be truly anything. Please be kind.